Hey, hi everyone, I'm Jules, and this is Biohacking Bioquantum Summit, and I have Dakota Mays here with me, and we're actually in Sayulita, Mexico, doing this live, which is super exciting, and I'm just super excited to learn more about Dakota and have him share his brilliance with all of you. So let's start out by just having you say a little bit about yourself. I don't really like to read bios. I'd much rather you just kind of, what do you want us to know about you?
I'm a full-time creator. First off, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. And welcome to Sayulita. Bienvenido. I would say I'm a full-time online content creator in the movement space, but also just biohacking, health optimization, just a little bit of everything, but mostly yoga and movement, of course. And yeah, I share my content here lately. I've been sharing more on YouTube, more flows and everything. And I started a podcast, so I'm starting to talk more about the things I'm doing, stuff like this. Just overall still in the health optimization realm. So yeah, when you're like, oh yeah, biohacking something, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. I'm down for anything.
I love it. I love it. So let's just go into the first. What does biohacking, bioquantum mean to you?
Biohacking, bioquantum. When I think of biohacking, actually I have a funny opinion on biohacking, the term, because we're not really hacking. We're kind of just getting that body back to where it should be, homeostasis, wherever that beautiful, perfect 50-50 balance is in all of our systems. Mm-hmm. I think we just kind of hack our body from an unhealthy state to that homeostasis. So yeah, when I think of biohacking, I think of that. But then when you say bioquantum as well, it's okay, how are we hacking our systems in a way that's on a quantum realm we're hitting us, to where it's past the 3D. It's more hacking beyond the ego, maybe.
Right.
I don't know, that's what comes to mind.
No, I love that.
Being beyond ego and source, and hacking from there, or using that to biohack. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's becoming what we are beyond the ego and beyond the identity of the ego. So let's go into what is some of your favorite things that you do to kind of put your body into that homeostasis or optimum performance. This fly.
I know. Oh my God. Hey, we're in Mexico. It's you cook some beautiful pancakes here like we did, and have some fresh fruit. You open the door for 1 minute, you're done. You're done. Back to the interview.
We just had to talk about the fly.
Hey, it's real life. Yeah, it's real life. So your question was my version of biohacking? Exactly?
No, okay, so some of the things that you're doing to put your body in optimum performance, because you're obviously in amazing shape. I mean, you guys should check out his videos. He does some crazy stuff.
Thank you. I would say yoga as a lifestyle is one of the main things I do, first of all, to biohack. And that just means connecting. When people think of yoga, they think of the poses and flows, which of course it's a big part of yoga. But it's just a slither of it at the end of the day. So it's really just connecting. Yoga means union, connection. So it's having that connection with yourself when you do the most mundane tasks, you know what I mean, throughout the day, and your yoga practice. Be super intentful, have intention with everything you do. Make it a ritual, not a habit. So we have to have good habits, but we want them to be rituals, something we do, not out of just habit, because then you're just a creature of habit, right? We don't want that. We want to be a creature of ritual. So you have meaning behind what you do. And my yoga practice has done that for me in every area of my life. So that's my main biohack that helps me. And it helps with all my content. It helps a lot with my content and connecting with people, the people we're connecting with you. Once I have that in my, my repertoire, and I'm really using it, I'm really mindful of that part of my life and practice, every other part of my life is super okay. I feel I'm in homeostasis for sure.
Oh, I love it.
And then the ice baths, the temazcals, the freaking, the fucking jiu-jitsu, working out all the time, running, beach, all those are just add-ons to that main one for me.
So it's the state of being. So I'm curious, I always like to tune in to the people that are listening and hear their questions, and then have that question be the next question. Yeah. So the question that I'm hearing is, what's the difference between living life as a ritual and being mindfulness?
Living life as a ritual, I would say they're the same thing.
Okay.
In terms of just whenever I think the word ritual, you can use whatever word you want, I guess, but just if it's something that, say you have a morning routine, don't make it a morning a few good habits that you do. Maybe they're great for you, but just don't just do them by habit. I should do them. But like, no, like I really enjoy my personal meditation, my personal little 1 minute, 2 minutes of like touching my back, like rolling out, like feeling my body. It could be the smallest, but make it ritualized, like make it intentful, like know you're doing it. Don't just do it like, oh, gotta roll my back, gotta roll my feet, gotta brush my teeth. Ooh.
Okay, so I do hear a little bit of a difference, and that's why I think the question was coming through. So when I think of mindfulness, it's just the awareness of where your thoughts are, right? And that I'm being mindful of what you're doing and what consciousness that you're the story, right? Am I in programming or am I in the experience? But then when you're saying ritual, you use the word intention. And I actually really like this because it's like next level mindfulness, right? It's like, okay, not only am I being mindful of this experience, but I'm actually going to put intention behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
Super cool.
When you have more mindfulness, you're going to make a lot more intentional actions in life.
Right.
The more mindful you are, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm seeing this vision of, so you're doing, let's say something just super simple, like you're washing the dishes, you're doing it mindfully. Your intention would be, let's just put one there. Like, what could an intention be?
That's great that you asked that. I'm so mindful about dishes, I don't wash my own dishes. I make a lot of money doing other things to where I pay for my dishes to be done.
Okay, so brushing your teeth then. Because you do that.
I do it every time with my left hand in the mornings. So in the mornings, I'm always brushing my left hand.
Okay.
I've been doing that for like 4 years now.
Okay.
And I'm proficient now. Like I'm like, there's only if you're a person that does this, you'll find the top other corner of your opposite hand is the hardest to do with pressure. Yeah, go ahead and do that at home. Imagine that. It's the hardest, but I figured that out. My hand can do it like perfectly. Anyways, it makes me mindful every time I brush my teeth in the morning. I swear, because I'm like, oh, how good's my left hand this morning? And if I'm super sore, like super like not well rested, I swear it'll be a little bit harder. I can feel it because I'm not as good with my right hand. You know, it's a little bit better with the right hand.
Okay.
But if that makes sense.
It does. I like it. Well, and
so nighttime, I need to be more mindful of brush my teeth. Like saying, hey, thanks teeth for
chewing my food.
Yeah, mastication for food.
Yeah, for dealing with 3 chocolate bars during Interstellar.
Yeah. Thanks, teeth. All this dried mango, like getting that. Thanks for helping me build this strong jawline.
Yeah.
I need to start thinking. I need to bring more mindfulness to it. Yeah.
Okay, I like this. So I'm gonna challenge everybody that's listening that next time you brush your teeth, to not only be mindful, not only use your other hand, but also let's tap into like what's beyond that. So if I'm brushing my teeth, yes, I'm cleaning my teeth, but what is tapping into what is the frequency of the intention behind that? Because it's never what we think it is, right? And then we're always elevating to what is next. So it would be fun to kind of tap into that. So I'm brushing my teeth. I'm brushing my teeth with the other hand. We're clearly just cleaning our teeth. You could go into the level of like what all the bad things that happen if you have gum disease, but we're not going to go there because we're not there. So the next level of that would be, well, like clear speech, right?
It's a good one. You look better on a podcast.
Wider teeth, clear speech.
Yeah.
So the
more
intention
chicos,
could be
doesn't
clear
matter.
communication.
Clear communication.
Yeah, that could be fun. I don't know. It's kind of a fun way to kind of experience life. It's like, okay, I'm doing this, but what am I actually doing? Up-leveling the intention to something even beyond what we're doing. That's biohacking, bioquantum to me. It's always taking
So
it to
bringing
the
it
next
into the
level.
quantum realm of what you're doing mindfully. Like say you're doing something that's biohacking, like healthy for you.
Right. Well, even just like, let's say when we ask that question of, well, what's really happening here? And obviously we don't know, right? We know what we're doing on a physical level. So in that moment, a frequency released, and it's giving information of what's beyond our experience was before. And that's just the first thing that came to me. So you go with it, right? It's like, okay, well now it's this. I'm cleaning my mouth so that I have clear communication. Cool. Well, what's beyond that? And so every time you're tapping into the intelligence beyond that, right?
I feel it. I'm gonna start doing that. I'll start trying to more. Yeah, because I mean, you're tapping in the future, years to come. Like if we're talking about our teeth, Like what you do now affects the future self, so you're tapping outside of this present moment.
Right? Who knew that just brushing your teeth could have so much wisdom?
It's a good question.
Really trippy? Can I add something?
Yeah,
please.
come in. This is Jarrett, you guys. Come on in.
You want to
Jarrett.
get really trippy? just let this ricochet in your mind. The millions and millions and millions of years of evolution to create your teeth. The millions of generations of creatures that led to this advanced ape with tattoos and heavy metals in his blood, right? On a podcast to the interweb. Think about all the evolution of fucked up teeth, of expanding diets, of eating poisonous mushrooms, all of the wisdom in the DNA of your teeth.
So
Tap into
hacking
that.
into the past and then hacking into the future.
Yeah, we got both now.
Right? I love this. But also knowing that actual
That's beautiful.
timelines don't actually exist and that we're experiencing it all at one time.
Well, that's just, it's another level of gratitude. It takes you, when you go into that, when you envision your freezing cold ancestors eating moss off of rocks to survive the winter, and that with their fucked up teeth, to evolve to the level for us to be able to eat 3 chocolate bars during Interstellar.
Look how far, and this is, and to think that we are only tapping into 10% of our consciousness, and the rest is being, like, we're basically being controlled through subconscious behaviors. So what is next in human evolution when we start to tap into the other 90% and we bring subconscious into conscious, and even beyond that to the superconscious? Like, that is exciting.
No, it's very exciting. The one thing I do in life, even more than yoga, which is like, I think jujitsu is actually one of the best forms of yoga, because you're connecting with yourself and how you're doing, how you're moving, but then you got someone else resisting you and trying to do the same thing on you. It's like the ultimate human chess. It's like human chess. Anything goes, other than scratching, biting, of course. But anyways, when you are flowing in your flow in the subconscious, tapping into all parts of the brain, you can just bring moves out anywhere. You can scramble. You're just like flow state. You're not even breathing hard. You're just chilling. You're like snatching arms here, snatching necks there. But then when you're like conscious, like, oh, I gotta do better for some reason today. Like, I gotta go hard today, and like you're thinking about it. As soon as you're like super in conscious brain, it just never flows like that, and you don't tap into that. So it's like one of the arts that I do in my life that I really feel it whenever I do tap into the subconscious.
I love that. So when I hear that too, I'm just curious, how long have you been doing, what is it?
Jiu-jitsu, BJJ. 4 years, 5 years now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
long enough that your body's starting to take on the cellular memory of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I've wrestled my whole life, so like, if there's things that's happened in the past lives of mine that's like wrestling or that related, I'm definitely tapping into it now.
So more of the flow state.
Yeah, big time flow state. Like, it's my biggest flow state that I experience.
I mean, isn't that kind of like being almost like at that Olympic level when, I think that's what makes the best athletes, is when their body knows it so well that they can stop thinking about it and actually let their body do it over their thoughts. Is that the experience you're talking about?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I love that.
Next best is handstands. That's why I love handstands so much. You'd be concentrating in handstands, huh, Dave? It's like you have no other choice. Like, you're falling down. You're like, your feedback is instant.
I almost was going to do a handstand in my casa yesterday. I literally almost did it. But then I was afraid if I fell, it was going to be on really hard floor. So I decided not to do it when I was all alone.
Maybe smart.
Maybe. All right. Okay. So tapping back in. I'm just going to turn it to you. What do you want? What do you want to talk about? What do you want people to know?
In terms of biohacking, maybe?
Just anything that lights you up. Just something that you feel called to share.
Oh, that's a great question. In my recent years of life, maybe my biggest epiphanies have been what kind of possibilities are out there if you really just start sharing your authentic self, or like more of you. Past years of my life, I like kind of boxed myself into these certain boxes, and it didn't really serve me to the best Yeah, it didn't serve me fully. So this past couple of years, there's been like unboxing, like box after box after box. Like it just doesn't stop. It feels like. But yeah, I'm just unboxing things, and dang, this fly is really. I've gotten to the point to where now I understand that there's much more life than these like small narrow paths we put ourselves into sometimes. And maybe even if you're out there and you're doing something really niche down, or I'm in this community here, like there's still much more. So like, don't close yourself off to other things just because you're focused on one thing maybe. And I close myself off to things. So these past couple of years, I've just been opening myself up back to new things, and so many crazy, awesome opportunities have happened already in my life. And it's insane.
It.
Yeah.
I love that.
And betting on yourself, I would say, because I started betting on myself more recently, in terms of investing in myself. You know, and I love buying stocks. Like that's my favorite thing. So, for me not to buy some, Tesla stock, for instance, in my opinion, like if I had extra money, boom, it's going there. But recently, when I have extra money, when it comes in, it's all towards myself, and that has been already paying like the best dividends, because you feel different about yourself, you feel different about the money you're putting behind yourself. Just like it's an energetic thing to where like this year I've done a lot of that this past 6 months, and I'm a different dude now. So that's something.
In what ways? So tell me something that's different since you've started, because I feel like this is a really big one, and I hope everybody's really paying close attention to this, because energetically, when you're investing in yourself, it creates a field, right? And that field is holding that you are an investment, right? That you are worth, and people see you in that way. And I can tell you it works, because I'm here doing this with you because I see your value, right? But I'm curious how that has changed just the way that you have felt and the things that have happened in your life since you started doing that.
Good point. I would bet on myself now. Like I'd be more willing to bet on myself now.
Yeah.
If it came to a 10x number or a 100x number. Before, if you would have told me that, like, oh, would you bet, whatever 10x the amount, like say $100 million, doesn't matter. Like now I'm like, oh yeah, put it on me, I'll 10x it. Like I'm more like, oh yeah, put it on me. I know how to 10x that, or 20, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I will bring an ROI to that. Before it's like, oh shit, if I come into a lot of money, I'm betting on Tesla because I believe in this company more than myself.
I see what you're saying.
Not energetically. I know Tesla's going to do this in life, I believe, whatever, as a company. But me as a company, personality, personal brand, all these things, I'm like, oh, I'll beat it.
I love it.
So
I
that
love
energetically,
that.
I know.
It's really interesting that you're saying this. I actually, I honor you for doing this,
you.
because it's that space of like, what am I going to risk? Am I going to risk it on myself? I mean, if you're going to put it in that way, because you don't know the outcome, right? But then when you're putting your frequency into believing yourself and kind of putting it into that field of like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to bet on myself, but I'm also at the same time, I may not know exactly where all this is going, right? So that's like existing in the quantum field, because you let the quantum field take it, and then you're just kind of following the frequency. I call it following the breadcrumbs. And honestly, I feel like that's, if you want to put a word there, like the new paradigm or the new earth way of existing. Yeah. And I can remember my dad coming up to me, he's like, so when are you going to start investing in stocks and all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm investing back into my own company. So I love that you're doing that, and it works.
There's a time and place for everything. Like before, it wouldn't have been smart to bet on myself.
And
like,
that's good to know too.
Yeah, I mean, I made a lot of money in stocks too, so it's like I wouldn't have made that like that rise me personally. But now that I'm ready, my 26-year-old version of myself, much better than a 22-year-old version of myself.
Right.
So like when I was 22 and whatever, that was the best spot for my money. But now I know it's much better for me to bet on me.
Well, good on you. I'm glad that you're doing that at 22 as well. You should give my daughter some lessons.
Hey, don't spend your whole paycheck. I don't care how much you make. Most people, like, I have some friends who make a lot of money. They spend more though. It's like what you invest.
He's talking to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a few friends in mind, but you're one of them. Yeah.
More. I'm not in debt.
No, not more, but you spend almost it all.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay, first let's just let everybody know, if they want to know more about you, where they'll go. So where do you want to direct them?
Mays Yoga on everything. MAYS Yoga. That's really my main tag.
Definitely check him out.
Instagram and YouTube mainly.
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, and you guys definitely check it out because some of the stuff he does, you're like, how does he do that? And then some of them he makes look so easy that you want to try to do it yourself, and then you realize, okay, yeah, that really is hard. I did that on one of your poses. I was like, okay, that doesn't look that hard. I was like, oh, okay, yes, it is.
That's usually most things. You'd be surprised. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. Well, thank you, Dakota, for showing up and sharing your genius. I hope you guys all got a takeaway. And I would say, what are the takeaways? Takeaways are mindfulness to intentional ritual to what's beyond that, tapping into the quantum body of what's beyond that, investing in yourself, being in a space where you actually believe that that's a good investment. Yes. So clearing out opening those boxes and letting yourself explore. You're doing great work.
She recapped that perfectly. That's a perfect recap.
I've done this before.
I'm like, yeah. Okay, yeah. She reminded me of a couple things. I'm like, fuck.
Check, and check.
Yeah,
all
be
right.
more mindful.
And then you go live a really amazing life.
Just
like
life's great.
You're doing. Yeah. Happy times.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dakota. Bye, everyone.